I can't find the original for Dark and Darker update. But here, I'll just pull this one down then. Ooh! Light mode. No, you know what? I don't even feel like force darking it, to be honest. I'll just leave it there. Thanks to the resub user Houston, Cammy, Blue, and the Prime Sydney, the Bits Token, and Alex. Just saw this on Asmon's stream. It's not looking good for Iron Mace. Well, it's not like any new information came to light that made it tough. It's just they know what we all know. They don't have the money to fight an org as wealthy as Nexon. So it is a little scary, yeah. But not because they'd lose the case, but because they literally can't afford to fight it. This is about Dark and Darker. So they posted an announcement in the Discord, which got a little fishy for a moment. So this announcement got posted, but then it got deleted thinking that the account had got hacked and that the GoFundMe was a scam. But then it came back saying, well, actually, no. It might not be a scam or a hack. And then they're like, okay, it is real. Not a scam, not a hack. Just misunderstanding. And then once again, GoFundMe page was taken down. Okay, then it just got removed again. So yeah, this whole thing is just all over the place. Really wishy-washy. So there will be a GoFundMe? That I don't know. There was for like an hour, and then it got taken down, then reposted, then taken down again. So I don't know. It's still down as of right now. But to be honest, I don't know how much that's really going to help the studio. I'm sure they'd get a lot of support from players. Yeah, but they'd need millions upon millions of dollars. Like, it'd be very, very difficult to crowdfund that kind of legal case. This isn't like, God, who was it? H3H3 in that goofball? Well, it was an expensive case. It was still 6 figures, but this is 7 easily. It's not even close. And that's just a hard thing to fight. Best thing for them to do would be sell a lot of their equity to a US company and have them fight it. Interesting suggestion. Asmon agrees with Nexon on what? I think they did a great job of proving that their case is fragile. I did see Kira's video on it, which was a more neutral take, but I still walk away from that thinking that Iron Mace is still far more in the right than they are in the wrong. So I don't really see how anyone would side with Nexon. Well, what is Asmon saying in defense of Nexon? Because I haven't seen any good arguments for Nexon. Asmon just doesn't believe Iron Mace? About what? Because they proved with receipts that all of the assets are literally not Nexon's. That they are straight from the Unreal Marketplace. Everything that they named in Exhibit D was systematically proven to be wrong. Which is a huge point in their case, is that they stole assets, and then trade secrets is another one that doesn't hold any water at all. Receipts are fake photoshopped. What are you talking about? It's an Excel spreadsheet with... Nexon would win hands down from this, from what I've seen with Kira's newest video. I just don't see how. I don't get how we're walking away with such different impressions from Kira's video. What there would make Nexon the winner in this case? None of their claims really work, since a lot of it hinges on them stealing the assets, which they've proven they didn't, and also that they stole trade secrets to make it, which you can't really make an argument they did. They just made a game in the same genre. I already watched it. That's why I'm saying that. How we walked away with two very... Is anyone even listening? We watched the same video and walked away with very different impressions. Do people just hear what they want to hear? I am saying I watched Kira's video on it already, which was a much more neutral take on the whole situation, but I still walked away thinking that Iron Mace has a very strong chance against Nexon. If you work for a tech company, your intellectual work is owned by the company. If you go make the game, that's functionally the same in all respects. It's not your IP. But again, that's copyright claiming an entire genre. Because they didn't. It's just the same genre. That's like saying Respawn Entertainment should be able to be sued by Activision forever because they're making first-person shooters. It's just the same genre and the same setting. A setting that's existed for hundreds of years. It is generic fantasy. And in Nexon's own lawsuit, they even state a storyline in the game, which Dark and Darker doesn't even have a storyline. They were Nexon employees and used that experience and connections to make their own game. Yeah, they left the company to work for the other guy that also got let go. But I don't see why that would fucking matter. Because again, it's just making a completely different game from scratch in the same genre. Which I don't see how that would infringe on trade secrets of a genre that they don't own. And then fraudulently claiming that they stole assets, which they didn't, and then proved. It's not a completely different game, that's the argument. I mean, but it literally is. It's just the same genre and same setting. We've never seen P3. We've never seen anything from P3 aside from the screenshots, so it's the same setting and the same genre. That's it. That's the only commonality they share. The assets aren't stolen. That claim is debunked completely. Not stolen, but the same. They're Unreal assets. They're Unreal Marketplace assets. Thanks to Prime, Linden, the resub, Bless, Amorous, and CJ. Oh, every company has a non-compete clause, I imagine. So maybe that could be an argument. I haven't seen Devin Nash's video on it. I'll check his out. Maybe he makes some other points that are more convincing.
So let's listen to that take right here.
Hold on, I'm going to take a guess at what the take is. Copywriting the genre. Because I'll say it again. Even this, the trade secrets is literally a very well-established genre. It's an extraction genre in an established setting, fantasy. It's two things that have existed far before P3 and will exist far after, and isn't exclusive to Dark and Darker or P3. I don't see how you could ever make an argument that those two things in tandem are a trade secret owned entirely by Nexon. That's my guess. But this especially. And I'll go a step further. Maybe we're getting into dicey, spicy territory. Oh, this is where I say I don't care if they stole from Nexon, because Nexon can suck my dick. Still believe that. If they did steal from Nexon, fine by me. I can't stand that company. Though that argument wouldn't hold up in court. My answer would be very circumstantial. Let me take a quick one off the top of my head. I went to double check, that's what I was typing. Dota in League. League was literally developed using the information from Dota in order to make League. And both became staples in the MOBA genre in order to push that whole genre forward. So the way I look at it is, yes, in certain circumstances, absolutely. Thanks to the bits Colt, Nerd, and Giga in the resub Sharp Shot. What about the non-Unreal assets? Are they suing? No. The assets thing is just blatantly wrong. That claim is wrong. That one's already proven false. But like Devin said, that's not even like the core of it. Though I do think if you're making wrong claims in Nexon's position, that should be taken into account. But still. Dota 1 was a mod, to be fair. Yeah, same thing though, right? You're still taking the trade secrets from Dota and then building something pretty much the same and doing it outside of the company. P3 was never released. I don't see what that necessarily changes about the statement, though. And it was never released because Nexon is a terrible fucking company. That's not what they're claiming. They're claiming that the devs knew which assets to get due to their work at Nexon, not that they used Nexon assets. Now we're just making shit up. Their actual claim in the lawsuit, if you read the cease and desist, is that they stole assets. Not that they knew which assets to get. Brother, they're just Unreal Marketplace stock assets. So like, oh, I need a shield. I'll buy one on the Unreal Asset Marketplace. That's just a bad claim, but I can see why it's a little more nuanced than IP infringement. That much is pretty clear here from the Korean sources Devin's using. I'm not blinded by the fact I hate Nexon. I hate Nexon, but I still just completely disagree that Extraction, a genre that's existed for years, and fantasy, a genre that's existed for 1,000 years, is all of a sudden a sacred trade secret. That's something someone could have stumbled upon completely outside of P3's dev team. But they were working on it at Nexon, and then built it outside of Nexon. And there actually is already another game that's very similar, and I forgot the name. Something like something. I'm not even gonna bother trying to fucking butcher the name. But the point is, it's not like this unique, super individual idea. Half of it is Unity or Unreal assets, and it's two very well established genres to begin with. I think it's the resub Souls. In the Prime Emo, in the resub Future. Another example of this is with Titanfall, with the creators of originally working on Call of Duty. Well, there's a difference here. It's Korean law. So like Devin said, it's not even really a matter of IP. It's just a completely different thing. These are the bits Monty and Matt. It should boil down to whether a non-compete or NDA was signed by the former employees. If they did, Iron Mace is in the wrong. If they didn't, Nexon is. I imagine there had to be some kind of non-compete. That's just like such a standard protocol for American businesses. I imagine Korea would do the same. What a shame, because P3 is never coming out, and if it does, it's just going to be an absolute terrible pile of dog shit from Nexon, as everything they do is. What a shame. I saw the documentary made for the Moist Apex team. It was really nice. Has Dark and Darker officially been cancelled? Well, no matter what, even if they are completely in the right, they'll never be able to fight against Nexon, which I think is pretty clear now. Thanks to Tier 1 Aubrey. That fucking sucks. The game has so much potential. Well, someone else is just going to make it. Again, the vast majority of that game is Unreal Engine. Or, oh, Jesus, why do I keep butchering it? Unreal Marketplace assets. Thank you for the 25 gift subs, Sam. Hope you had a good day. Really appreciate it. So a different team's just going to make the same game, and it's not going to be Nexon. It's just going to be an American company. And Nexon won't be able to do anything about it. But the game's going to be much worse. Could another company scoop them up by chance? I don't know. Probably not, because then they'd have to take on the legal battle. Is Dark and Darker over them? It's looking like it. Not even because, like, even if they could prove their innocence 100%, they just can't fight it. The announcement they made in Discord today made it very clear that they just don't have the capability of fighting a company like Nexon. It's too expensive. And you'd never be able to crowdsource a legal fund of that magnitude. So yeah, that's probably dead. But at least we still have Nexon and all of their great games, like... Yep, that's it. None. Thanks, Resub Pedro. They did crowdsource 50k in an hour. Brother, this is not a 50k kind of lawsuit. This is multiple millions and years of litigation. You're not going to be able to crowdfund that. Thanks to the bits Kirito and the resub Rachel. And they still might lose. Yeah, and they still could lose. Thanks to the resub Trey. I can't remember the name of it, Goblin, but if you just look up the Apex team's name, you'll find it pretty quickly. Thanks to resub Iron Man. So is this American or Korean court? Korean. Which is why it's far more nuanced than I would have assumed. Even though they can disprove 3 of the claims in the lawsuit, the core claim is one that they can't really fight on, I guess. I think it's a Prime Blue Moon. You think Nexon will still go through with releasing P3? No. I think it's the resub. Shrutini and Beansprout. Damn, that's sad. Well, looks like we'll never see Dark and Darker. Well, I don't play Nexon games anyway. Even before all this, I've hated Nexon for a long, long time. But even then, they just don't make good games regardless. The last Nexon game I played was one I played during shitty game night. The Cartwriter game. The one where I was shit-talking children because it comes with built-in open mic and I didn't know it. There's not exactly like a good Nexon game. Unless you're stuck in like 2009 with Maple Story. Unless Maple Story's had a huge overhaul. Hold on, quick text message. If Nexon has nothing, how can they afford this? I mean, Maple Story's their big cash cow. They just hose all their players down for every dollar they have. Let me see, what's their whole list of games that they still support? It's Cartwriter, it's Maple Story, what else? Cartwriter, Maple Story, Sudden Attack, and Dungeon Fighter. I don't know Sudden Attack or Dungeon Fighter. And then recently they had D and F Duel, but that died within 5 days after it got taken off of the Twitch ad slot.